Breaking news! After 87 days in NFL free agency, Aaron Rodgers has made up his mind and signed a contract with the Steelers. I don't know if this is good or bad. First of all, I want to know what do you think about this? Comment below. Man, I sincerely hope he's not another Russell Wilson. If you believe the Steelers will make it to the playoffs at the end of next season, hit the like button. Without further ado, let's get to the topic of the day. Aaron Rodgers is officially a Pittsburgh Steelers player. Let's get that out of the way for a moment. Despite everything, he is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the history of the league. After much anticipation, he made the jump to the Steel City. Let's see what Omar Khan is up to with this. It's a calculated move, one that Mike Tomlin, the front office, and the entire organization have patiently orchestrated with laser-sharp focus. Instead of jumping on less promising options like Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, or even going as far as the first round of the draft, they opted to wait. And now they've been rewarded with a quarterback who, despite being 41 years old, still has the arm talent, quick release, and football IQ to guide this team through a rapidly closing Super Bowl transfer window. That urgency isn't just talk, it's very real. Cam Hayward has 2 years left and no ring. Mike Tomlin, entering what could be the final chapter of his Pittsburgh tenure if things go south, needed someone he could trust, someone who could elevate this team without having to be Superman. Rodgers doesn't need to carry this roster. He simply needs to protect the football, keep the chains moving, and be the high-functioning game manager that Tom Brady was during his Super Bowl run in Tampa Bay. And Rodgers can do that. Even last season with the Jets, a disastrous situation marred by injury, poor coaching, and no protection, Rodgers flashed that arm talent. Now, with a better setup, a stronger locker room, and a coaching staff that actually knows what it's doing, he gets a fresh start. The Steelers are betting that average quarterback play, yes, just average, is enough to push this team into serious playoff contention. Last year, they were 10-3 with bottom 5 QB play. That's not a fluke. That's a testament to how good this team is around the quarterback position. With a stout defense led by TJ Watt and a commitment to the run game, the Steelers aren't asking Rodgers to throw 40 times a game. They want efficiency, experience, and timely throws. And Rodgers brings all that and more. And let's talk about that locker room impact. Rodgers isn't a Mr. Positivity type like Russell Wilson. He's intense. He holds players accountable. He elevates the standard. That's exactly what this group needs, especially the younger wideouts like Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin III, and of course, DK Metcalf. Yes, you heard right. Metcalf is now in the mix, and the chemistry between him and Rodgers has already started building. Combine that with a possible addition of another weapon, someone like Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen, and suddenly, the narrative around Pittsburgh's offense shifts completely. Mike Tomlin didn't care what the media thought. He didn't flinch when pundits called the wait embarrassing. He had one goal: get the quarterback that gave him the best shot at a championship, and he got him. Now, with Rodgers locked in, attention turns to how the Steelers will continue building this offense around him. The wide receiver market is buzzing. Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, even Romeo Doubs from Green Bay. There's serious momentum toward Pittsburgh adding one more playmaker before the season starts. This isn't just a personnel move, it's a culture shift. The Steelers are making a run, and it's no longer just about keeping a streak of winning seasons alive. This is about getting back to the promised land. And Rodgers, with his playoff pedigree, arm talent, and chip on his shoulder, is coming to prove something to the league, to his critics, and maybe even to himself. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Could this be just the beginning? Could the Steelers' next move be even bigger? What do you think, Steelers Nation? Drop a comment. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers in black and gold? Could this be the dawn of a new era or the final roll of the dice? That's the question gripping Steelers Nation right now. And let's be honest, there's a legitimate buzz in the air. This isn't your average veteran quarterback signing. This is Aaron Rodgers, a legend, a player who's built a career on defying expectations, silencing critics, and thriving when the lights are brightest. And now, in what could be the final act of his illustrious journey, he's been handed the keys to one of the most storied franchises in NFL history. But let's not gloss over the stakes here. If this experiment doesn't work, it's not just Rodgers who might be walking into the sunset. This could also be the end of the Mike Tomlin era. The head coach who's yet to log a losing season, yet hasn't delivered postseason success in far too long, is tying his future to Rodgers' aging arm and calculated leadership. If this season flops, if the offense sputters, if Rodgers falters, if the defense buckles, it could lead to a full reset. New head coach, new GM, new quarterback in the 2026 draft. That's why this moment feels so urgent, so pivotal. And look at the broader picture. The AFC North isn't getting any easier. Lamar Jackson's Ravens are a juggernaut. Joe Burrow's Bengals, if healthy, can light up the scoreboard with anyone. And the Browns, well, they're unpredictable but talented. So what do the Steelers do? They zig while everyone else zags. They don't rebuild. They don't punt on 2025. They double down and swing for the fences. Rodgers wasn't brought here to merely mentor. He's here to win, and win now. And guess what? He's walking into a locker room that's built to compete. TJ Watt is still a dominant force off the edge. Minkah Fitzpatrick roams the secondary with unmatched instinct. Caleb Johnson is set to become the heartbeat of the run game, and the young offensive line is developing chemistry that could make this unit quietly dangerous by mid-season. Pair that with an offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith who has a real connection with Rodgers, and you have something special brewing. But let's not forget the elephant in the room. The wide receiver room needs help. Yes, DK Metcalf is a huge boost. Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin III offer speed and versatility. But the Steelers are clearly not done. They've been on the phone. They've explored Amari Cooper, checked in on Keenan Allen, and even revisited connections in Green Bay for a potential Romeo Dew reunion. Why? Because they know Rodgers is better when he trusts his receivers. He doesn't throw blind. He throws to guys he believes in. And right now, Pittsburgh is trying to give him that final piece. What's also undeniable is the media narrative. The national spotlight is now firmly on the Steel City. And that's a good thing. For a team that's been overlooked, underappreciated, and often dismissed in recent years, having Rodgers under center changes everything. Primetime games, headlines, pressure, legacy. And that's just how Rodgers likes it. He feeds off of it. From his revenge tour against former NFC North foes to that Week 1 showdown with the Jets, his former team, it's personal. He's coming into 2025 with something to prove, and every snap he takes in black and gold will be dissected by fans and critics alike. So the question becomes, what version of Aaron Rodgers are the Steelers getting? Is this the Rodgers of 2022, gritty and efficient despite a thumb injury? Or the one who struggled in New York under Nathaniel Hackett and a crumbling Jets offense? The reality probably falls somewhere in the middle. But for the Steelers, middle might be enough. This team isn't built to revolve around the quarterback. It's built to win with one who's smart, who doesn't turn the ball over, who can orchestrate a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. And that, even at age 41, is where Rodgers still shines. So let's bring it all together. Rodgers is here. The fan base is buzzing. The locker room is locked in. And the front office isn't done. There's a real possibility that this is the most complete Steelers team we've seen since the peak Roethlisberger years. But the success of this bold gamble hinges on Rodgers, his leadership, his health, his connection with this locker room, and above all, his ability to deliver when it matters most. Now, Steelers Nation, it's your turn. Do you believe Rodgers is the right man to lead this team back to glory? Will he rise to the occasion, or will this become a short-lived dream? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around. We've got another video coming up on screen right now that you won't want to miss. Go Steelers!